Have you ever dreamed of selling it all and cruising into the sunset? Well, that's exactly what we did. It's no fun going it alone though, so why don't you join us for the ride? So after an awesome few days in Mykonos, Greece, our next stop is Naxos, Greece, which is about a 45-minute ferry ride away. Our ferry that day was a small passenger ferry, but we found it to be very comfortable. The main port town in Naxos is called Chora, but we've also heard it pronounced Hora. Even though it was around 10 a.m., our Airbnb was ready, and our host graciously allowed us to come there early. So this is our little villa in Naxos. We have a rooftop villa, suite, with a gorgeous view of the harbor. And a pretty lady there. Not sure what that island is in the distance. Nice little seating area here. Inside kitchenette. Nice little fishing. Queen size bed. And tiny bath. But everything you need. For the price, it's probably like, I don't know, $110 a night. Boat horns are optional. Actually, they're mandatory. So marble being mined on the island makes it readily available, and you see it almost everywhere. And the mosaic tiles inlaid are really nice as well. Our unit was set away from the street and up a few flights, but it really made it nice and private. First priority was to find a lunch spot, and we passed this gentleman on the way. He was nice enough to let me take a pic, and if you'll notice behind him, there's some hanging octopus drying in the sun. Kind of gave me an idea for lunch. The sampler plate. What do you think? You can eat it?
Yeah, it looks delicious.
With our bellies full, on to some exploring. You gotta love the prices in Greece. Big screen TV opens up. Pretty cool. Portside in Chora was pretty much the place to be. Every night it was jam-packed. All the local tavernas there have outside dining, and there was restaurant after restaurant, each with a different type of cuisine. You could find Italian, there was sushi, traditional Greek. It was pretty nice, and the prices were very reasonable. What do you have?
We've been delivered some
Huh?
beautiful banana and Nutella pancakes. It looks like made by Ellen. look delicious.
Oh, they live downstairs.
I believe so.
Excellent. Let's eat them. So where are we going?
Going to the temple.
What temple?
The Temple of Doom. The Temple of Naxos. Apollo, I think.
No, is it like Dionysus or something, or
No,
Demetrius or
I thought
something?
I said Apollo.
It could be Apollo. You think?
I think so.
All right. Lead the way. Temple of Doom.
It's typographic, like typical.
Who's your friends?
We were staying right in the middle of Chora, so it was kind of nice that we were close to everything and could just take like about a 5-minute walk and be amongst all the shops. Get out there early before all the crowds and really have the place all to ourselves. That being said, Naxos is way quieter than Mykonos and without all the big cruise ships. We also like checking out all the tavernas and the menus to see what we might want to do for lunch or dinner. It looks like they decorate for fall in Naxos with pumpkins just like we do. After a short walk through Chora and on the other side of the port, we find the path up to the Temple of Apollo. We found it interesting that these seniors were floating in the water in the early morning in the lee of the Temple of Apollo. Perhaps it's the Fountain of Youth. And of course you would find a bar and taverna at the foothills of the temple. The Temple of Apollo is the main landmark of the island of Naxos. It was erected in 530 BC. It's made entirely of marble. Looking back from the temple over to Chora and beyond, you get a very nice view of Naxos and the mountains, and it really is a very large island. It looks rather dry and arid, but there's a lot more to it than you would think. If we had more time, I really wish we would have visited inland. A few fun facts about Naxos. It actually has the most water out of all the Greek islands, so it's almost entirely self-sustainable and self-sufficient. There's quite a bit of agriculture. There's cattle and sheep and goats. And believe it or not, the #1 export is potatoes. It's very famous for its Naxian potatoes. Just wandering through the streets is a delight. There's so much old and so much new, and at times you forget that this is actually a place where locals live and visit the local bakery, get their produce, etc.
Gotta bend down for this one.
We must have passed by 40, 50 small little family tavernas. Would have loved to spend time in each and every one of them.
And look what we have here.
We tried a lot of the local wines, and they were very light and not really to our taste, but the good news is they were really, really cheap. We really wanted to try some of the local food, and Lori found this great little family-run taverna for lunch. You could really sense the culture and the pride of ownership. And as the story goes, I guess the parents bought the restaurant when the kids were kind of younger, and they were shocked because it was a change of their lifestyle. But eventually the kids actually took it over, and now they run the place. We got off to a great start with some local wine that I think for just 1 liter cost us about €6 or $7. We were thinking about a light lunch, but it didn't really turn out that way. Lori got a chicken kebab, and I got some goat stew with orzo. Both were delicious. And if that wasn't enough, they give you dessert on the house. All around an amazing experience. Well, I guess there'll be no dinner for us. We'll be forced to go straight to cocktails. Thankfully, there are plenty of portside options. One thing I did notice as we were in a number of Greek kitchens is that they are absolutely immaculate. You could practically eat off the floors. Lori had heard something about a Venetian castle that was located above town, built in the 13th century, and she wanted to go explore and take a look. Well, we actually never made it to the castle because on the way we stumbled upon this wine bar. Or should I say, I think it was part of Lori's plan all along. It happened to be a super windy day, but we made the best of it and enjoyed some wine overlooking the town and the countryside.
So we're on our way to a little excursion we're doing, a little cooking class. We're gonna do some shopping at a local market. And then we're gonna do some tasting some Greek food. So that's what we're doing today.
We met our group at about 10 a.m. at the statue of the Sphinx. Our tour guide had some good knowledge of the history of the island. She took us to points of interest. We did some shopping at the local markets, and she also took us to this magnificent Greek church. Everybody was getting a little hungry, so we stopped at a cheese shop to sample some of the locally made cheeses.
You can try this. This is 80% cow milk and 20% goat. Feel free to try, playing with the marble.
And we also finally got a chance to see that 13th century Venetian castle. The highlight of the tour, of course, was when we visited a taverna and we prepared local Greek dishes from the ingredients that we purchased at the market. To loosen everybody up, our host started us off with a shot of some homemade liquor.
Very hard and crunchy with the mortar. So we collect as many as possible and we put them in.
Make a lot and keep it in your refrigerator, or you have to eat what you make.
Better to eat them. Not in the freezer, definitely. In the refrigerator, I will ask her. We roll once until all rice is covered. Fold both sides and then roll it all the way towards you. This is a baby.
Hey, what are you
We
doing?
will grate it in the big bowl, and once we're done, we will take it with our hands like that. The consistency will be completely different. When we will serve this, we will add a little bit of oil squeezing. Now we did the squeezing because we wanted to cook it straight away. If you do it at home, when you grate the amount of cucumber that you need, of zucchini, I'm sorry, you will leave it in a strainer all night long with a little bit of salt.
I guess you could say we cooked a Greek feast. It was so much fun and something that I highly recommend when you visit another country. Take a cooking class and make and taste local foods. We concluded our tour with the tasting of Kitron liquor, which is made in Naxos. After a few delightful days in Naxos, we queued up in the ferry line for a quick 45-minute trip to nearby Paros. The Blue Star ferries are pretty impressive and more like small cruise ships. Cars go on first, and then it's pretty much a free-for-all with passengers and their luggage, but they kind of have it down to a science, and everybody gets on board. The ferry makes multiple stops, so they ask you when you board which island you're going to, and you put your luggage in that area. It's pretty easy. And that pretty much wraps up our trip to Naxos, Greece. We hope you liked this video. If so, please like and subscribe. And the next video will be on Paros, Greece.